Hello, welcome to the 12th episode of our Scripture in the Year series hosted by Saints Peter and Paul Orthodox Church of the Albanian Archdiocese in the OCA. Today's reading is Genesis chapters 45 through 48. Now Joseph could not restrain himself before all those who stood by him, and he cried out, "Make everyone go out from me." So no one stood with him while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. Then he wept aloud, and the Egyptians in the house of Pharaoh heard it. Joseph then said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Does my father still live?" But his brothers could not answer him, for they were stunned in his presence. But Joseph said to his brothers, "Come near to me." So they came near. When he said, "I am Joseph your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Now therefore do not be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to save life. For this is the second year of famine in the land, and 5 years still remain, in which there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. For God sent me before you to preserve you as a remnant on the earth, and to sustain you as a great remnant. So now it was not you who sent me here, but God, and he made me a father to Pharaoh, and a lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Hurry then and go up to my father, and say to him, 'Thus says your son Joseph, God made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not tarry. You shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near me, and you and your children, your children's children, your sheep and your oxen, and all you have. There I will provide for you, lest you and your household and all you have come to poverty, for 5 years of famine still remain. And behold, your eyes and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see it is my mouth that speaks to you. Therefore you shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all you have seen, and you shall hurry and bring my father down here." Then he fell on his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brothers and wept over them, and after this his brothers talked with him. Now the report of it was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, "Joseph's brothers have come." So it pleased Pharaoh and his servants well. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Say to your brothers, do this, load your convoyances and depart. Go to the land of Canaan. Bring your father and your households and come to me. I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you will eat the fat of the land. Now you are commanded, do this, take carts out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives. Bring your father and come. Also do not be concerned about your goods, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours." Thus the sons of Israel did so. And Joseph gave them carts according to the command of Pharaoh, and he gave them provisions for the journey. He gave to all of them, to each man, 2 changes of garments, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of gold and 5 changes of exceptionally fine garments. He also sent to his father these things: 10 donkeys loaded with the good things of Egypt, and 10 mules loaded with grain, bread, and food for his father for the journey. So he sent his brothers away, and they departed, and he said to them, "See that you do not become angry with each other along the way." Then they went up out of Egypt and came to the land of Canaan to Jacob their father. Thus they told him, saying, "Joseph your son is still alive, but he is ruler over all the land of Egypt." But Jacob's mind was completely stunned, for he could not believe them. But when they told him all the words Joseph had said to him, and when he saw the carts Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. Then Israel said, "It is a great thing to me that my son Joseph is still alive. I will go and see him before I die." Now Israel took his journey with all he had, and came to the well of Oath, and he offered a sacrifice to the God of his father Isaac. Then God spoke to Israel in a vision of the night, and said, "Jacob, Jacob." So he said, "Here I am." So God said to him, "I am the God of your fathers. Do not fear to go down to Egypt, for I will make you a great nation there. I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also surely bring you up again. And Joseph will put his hand on your eyes." Then Jacob arose from the well of Oath, and the sons of Israel carried their father Jacob, their baggage, and their wives, and the carts Pharaoh had sent to carry him. So they took their livestock and their goods, which they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went to Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him. His sons and his sons' sons, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed he brought with him to Egypt. Now these were the names of the children of Israel: Jacob and his sons who went to Egypt. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn. The sons of Reuben were Enoch, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. The sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of the Canaanite woman. The sons of Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Judah were Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah, but and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Issachar were Tola, Puvah, Job, and Shimron. The sons of Zebulun were Sered, Elon, and Jalil. These were the sons of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob in Mesopotamia of Syria, and his daughter Dinah. All the souls, his sons and his daughters, were 33. The sons of Gad were Ziphion, Haggai, Shuni, Esbon, Eri, Arodi, Areli. The sons of Asher were Jimnah, Ishua, Isui, Beriah, and Sarah, their sister, and the sons of Beriah were Heber and Malkiel. These were the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bore to Jacob, 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, were Joseph and Benjamin. Also to Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bore to him. Sons were also born to Manasseh, Machir, whom his Syrian concubine bore him, and Machir begot Gilead. Also, the sons of Ephraim, Manasseh's brother, were Shuthelah and Tahan. The sons of Benjamin were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, and the sons of Bela were Gera, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Hupim, and Gera begot Ard. These were the sons of Rachel, who were born to Jacob. All the souls were 18. The son of Dan was Hushim. The sons of Naphtali were Jazeel, Guni, Jezer, and Shillem. These were the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to Rachel his daughter, and she bore these to Jacob, 7 souls in all. All the souls who went with Jacob to Egypt, who came from his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, were 66 souls in all. The sons of Joseph born to him in the land of Egypt were 9. Thus all the souls of Jacob's house who went to Egypt were 75. Now he sent Judah before him to Joseph, that he might meet him in Goshen in the land of Ramses. So Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father Israel. And he presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept a good while. Then Israel said to Joseph, "Now let me die in peace. I have seen your face, because you are still alive." Joseph then said to his brothers, "I will go up and tell Pharaoh and say to him, 'My brothers and those of my father's house who are in the land of Canaan have come to me. But the men are shepherds, for they are pastoral men, and they have brought their flocks, their herds, and all they have. So it shall be, when Pharaoh calls you and says, "What is your occupation?" that you shall say, "Your servants are pastoral men from our youth, even till now, both we and our fathers," that you may dwell in the land of Goshen in Arabia. For every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. Now Joseph went and told Pharaoh and said, "My father and my brothers, their flocks and their herds, and all they possess, have come from the land of Canaan. And indeed, they are in the land of Goshen." So he took 5 men from among his brothers and presented them to Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph's brothers, "What is your occupation?" So they said to Pharaoh, "Your servants are shepherds, both we and our fathers." They also said to Pharaoh, "We have come to dwell in the land because your servants have no pasture for their cattle, for the famine is severe in the land of Canaan. Now, therefore, let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen." Then Pharaoh spoke to Joseph, saying, "Let them dwell in the land of Goshen, and if you know of capable men among them, make them overseers of my cattle." Thus Jacob and his sons came to Egypt, and Pharaoh, king of Egypt, heard about it. So Pharaoh spoke to Joseph, saying, "Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Have your father and brothers dwell in the best of the land." Then Joseph brought in his father Jacob and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Jacob, "How old are you?" Jacob said to Pharaoh, "The days of the years of my sojourn are 130 years. Few and evil have they been, but they have not attained to the days and years of my father's sojourn in life. So Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before him. Thus Joseph settled his father and brothers and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh commanded. Then Joseph provided his father, his brothers, and all his father's household with bread, according to the number of individual persons. Now there was no food in all the land, for the famine was very severe, and both the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan were devastated by the famine. So Joseph gathered up all the money found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the grain they bought, and all he doled out to them. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Thus when the money ran out in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in your presence? For our money has run out." Then Joseph said, "Bring your cattle, and I will give you bread for them, if your money has run out." So they brought their cattle to Joseph, and he gave them bread in exchange for their horses, sheep, oxen, and donkeys. Thus he fed them with bread that year in exchange for all their cattle. When that year ended, they came to him the next year and said to him, "We will not hide from my lord that our money has run out, and my lord also has our possessions and cattle. There is nothing left in the sight of my lord but our bodies and our lands. Why should we die, therefore, before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants of Pharaoh. Give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land may not be desolate." So Joseph bought all the land of the Egyptians for Pharaoh, for every man of the Egyptians sold his land to Pharaoh, because the famine was severe upon them. Thus the land became Pharaoh's. Now as for the people, he moved them into the cities from one end of the borders of Egypt to the other. Only the land of the priests he did not buy, for the priests had rations allotted to them by Pharaoh, and they ate their rations Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they did not sell their land. Thus Joseph said to all the Egyptians, "Indeed I have bought you and your land this day for Pharaoh. Look, here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. Then it shall come to pass in the harvest that you shall give 1/5 to Pharaoh. 4/5 shall be your own, as seed for the field and for your food, for those of your households." So they said, "You have saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants." Then Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt to this day, that Pharaoh should have 1/5, except for the land of the priests only, which did not become Pharaoh's. So Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the land of Goshen, and they acquired possessions there and increased and multiplied exceedingly. Now Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, so the length of Jacob's life was 147 years. Thus when the time drew near for Jacob to die, he called on his son Joseph and said to him, "If I have found grace in your sight, put your hand under my thigh and deal with me in mercy and truth. Do not bury me in Egypt, but let me lie with my fathers. You shall carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burial place." So he said, "I will do as you say." Then he said, "Swear to me." And he swore to him. So Israel bowed himself on the top of his staff. Now it came to pass after these things that Joseph was told, "Indeed, your father is sick." And he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, and went to Jacob. Thus Jacob was told, "Look, your son Joseph is coming to you." And Israel strengthened himself and sat up on the bed. Then Jacob said to Joseph, "My God appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me, and said to me, 'Behold, I will increase and multiply you, and I will make of you a gathering of nations, and give this land to your seed after you as an everlasting possession.' Now therefore your 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born to you in the land of Egypt, before I came to you in Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon they shall be mine. Your offspring, whom you beget after them, shall take possession of their inheritance within the tribes of their brothers. But as for me, when I came from Mesopotamia of Syria, Rachel died beside me in the land of Canaan on the way, when there was but a little distance to go to Ephrath. And I buried her there on the way to Ephrath, that is, Bethlehem. Then Israel saw Joseph's sons and said, 'Who are these with you?' So Joseph said to his father, 'They are my sons God gave me here.' Jacob then said, 'Bring them to me that I may bless them.' Now the eyes of Israel were dim by reason of old age, and he could not see. Then Joseph brought them near him, and he kissed and embraced them. Then Israel said to Joseph, 'I had not thought to see your face, but in fact God has also shown me your seed.' So Joseph brought them from beside his knees, and they bowed down with their face to the ground. Then Joseph took them both, Ephraim with his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh with his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near him. Thus Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it on Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, guiding his hands knowingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. Then he blessed them and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac were well-pleasing, the God who has fed me all my life long to this day, the angel who redeemed me from all evil, bless these lads, let my name be named upon them, and let the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a great multitude in the midst of the earth. Now when Joseph saw his father put his right hand on the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. So he took hold of his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. So Joseph said to his father, Not so, my father, for this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be exalted. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. So he blessed them that day, saying, By you Israel will be blessed, saying, May God make you as Ephraim and as Manasseh. Thus he set Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, Behold, I am about to die, but God will be with you, and bring you back to the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to you one portion above your brothers. I am giving you Shechem, which I took from the land of the Amorites with my sword and bow. Here ends the reading for the day.